prototypes from jackets, the rock jackets. This is a real thing. So you have to be really quick, because I'm going to ask a question, and the first person who says the right answer will have all of these. And I will sign a card saying, well, we all know, we've got lots of witnesses here. So, now you two guys are going to spot the first person. Okay? I will write down the answer. Very curious question. Okay? Right. The question for all of these, see if I can do it. How many buckles are on the rock soldier jackets down the front?
7. 9. 6 plus.
Where?
Plus.
That's the guy, he got it.
Oh my God!
You said Freddie was the one who brought in the ideas. And I would like to know, was he a person who had a clear picture in his mind and you worked as long as reality matched the picture he had? Or was he one who developed the idea in the process of making?
That's a good question. No, he didn't have good ideas. I had the ideas. Images and themes and moves and kind of like with a great pretender. I was around there in the afternoon at his house. He said, "You have to come over. I'm going to do this new video. This is this, you know, the who was that guy? No, never mind." And so, and he invited. So I arrived, and he was so excited. Nobody was in. I don't think you were there. I don't think Joe was there. And rather than sit me down and say, I'm going to do this song and I'd like to have all the images from the video, he sang the whole song for me, from top to toe, running around the house, pulling books out, going, something like this, and then carried on with the next verse. So I was chasing around with a notebook, kind of going, what are we doing? How many videos are we going to put in? All of them, all of them. Listen to this. I can sing it better, the tape and everything. So he used to get very enthusiastic and full of ideas, but not a distinct image, not a real image.
The thing with Freddie, he had all these amazing ideas in his head, and whether it was to do with his house, to do with directing the video, to do with the costumes, the people around were to tell him what was not possible. You know, because he would want to do jumping off the roof and everything, but sorry, no, the insurance won't cover that. He failed. But he had these amazing sort of images running around in his head, but it needed other people to sort of dampen down a little bit.
He sort of coordinated it and sort of thinking, translated his ideas into an image. And my great little saying to him was, no more lycra. No more lycra. We have to move on. I did a couple of pieces with lycra in, but not
well, he liked, who knows why, but he liked skin-tight costumes all over.
Thought he was a ballet dancer.
He did actually. He thought he was actually incredibly good at ballet until he met the ballet dancers. And then he found he actually had 2 left feet that could balance on them.
Any more questions? I need your knowledge so I can have the memories. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You are all experts and you know so much more than I could ever know. But I have the memories, so you have to help me dig them out again. And Peter, we have little moments which, when you ask a question, they will come back.
Diane, are you still in the same line of business? And do you have anything to do next year in November? Because the man sitting next to you, I did a couple of small fundraising projects regarding the favorite food of Freddie. And I changed jobs, and I'm now working for a vocational school where also fashion students are interested in making designing and dress. Do you have anything to do next year in November?
This is next year.
Yeah.
This is a year away. I'm not quite sure. I'll tell you, I am still in the costume business, and I've only just finished filming on Tuesday, so hence I'm a little bit tired. I know. So I've been doing a drama for television, a family drama for British television, which has been shown over Christmas. It's a special drama called Just Henry with 1949 costumes in. And also this year I did something for comics. I'm advertising here, I know. That's okay. I did something for Comic Strip Presents. Does anybody remember these at all? With Robbie Coltrane and Jennifer Saunders and the comics in England 25 years ago. Did these very weird kind of programs. Well, I've been doing one of those as well as the anniversary thing, which is going on. And then I still do 2 years ago. Oh, no surprise on that one. No, can't mention that. No. I know, but that's convenient and gone. I'm advertising this year. I do a lot of work, a lot of commercials, and I also do some styling still for people who go on stage. And one I was working with this year was Jeff Beck. Yes. In fact, 3 years with him, so that's quite good.
Any more questions? Yep, no. Right over there.
For Debbie.
Yeah, the soup with mozzarella kabai.
I mean, after that, he then ordered about 10 suits altogether from that table because he just loved the way they felt.
Yeah.
The way they looked.
Yes, the cuts and everything. He dressed up good.
No, I can't say he refused. Most of the time, if he was wearing, full dinner suit and everything, he'd still wear trainers because they were much more comfortable than proper shoes.
Being sold Adidas trainers. And I remember rightly, yellow tracksuits when he was young. Yeah.
Round the house, yellow tracksuit. Class. I did have a few lemon spots on it. Oh. Some yellow red tracksuit.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Next.
Yeah, we got one up here. Excuse me, please. Got two up here, yeah.
Hello. Did Freddie ever draw himself costumes? Did he ever draw himself?
No, he did. This is a good leading question because I have another picture for you to have a look at in here.
First one's still not reaching the back.
Hasn't it? Well, we can start again here.
Maybe we'll start at the back and say forward.
He could draw, but I had to start it off. And this is very famous drawing here. This is from the original rock soldier outfit, and it was just a pencil drawing at the time. And he actually erased the middle bit because I'd made the jacket a little long, and he picked up a ripper and we redrew it a bit shorter so it looked like a mess jacket. If you'd like to have a look at that one, that's the original. Start the front, going through.
The other one's still not reaching the back.
Well, then start at the front again.
Poor Peter!
It's not accurate on the buckles, but this is the image, the whole thing. And if you ask me about the pocket on the leg, I'll never be able to give you the answer to that. It's our secret. Freddie's and my secret. There was a pocket on it.
Yeah, I've got another question for you, Diana.
Freddie was around today, or even back in the old days. Did he like any clothing with crystals stuck in them?
Crystals?
You know, like the little glittery. I've never seen anything with glitter.
Oh yeah, you mean the Swarovski kind of crystals and things like that? No, I mean, they were around. They were just about around then, but they're not. But he liked the real thing. He liked metal and studs and bullets and diamonds. Yes. Real one.
Diamond's best friends.
I don't think he'd be doing the sequin look now. I think he was, you know, he was turning towards tailoring a lot more. So he'd be quite a demure man, a well-dressed man in public, I think now. If he was around today.
The thing is, he'd hate being 65, but he would at least dress to a 40.
Any more questions? Anything? Any curious things? Come on.
Over there. Over there.
Sorry, got distracted. Hi Diane. Did Freddie ever refuse to wear anything you made?
No.
I just thought that, with having his own ideas, that he might have just done something that...
No.
I thought, no, I'm not doing that.
He did have his ideas, but my job was to make them better. It was to take them further and give them exactly what was needed for the video or the job. And I always knew when it was a success, because he'd always turn to Peter, or Joe and say, get Diana a glass of champagne. And I'd have this wonderful cocktail, it was a Bellini. And I'd never get home that evening. I'd be too slewed and have to stay and have supper and play Scrabble. So that was the way I knew we had a success. I had to get drunk.
Also, the thing is, you have to remember that it wouldn't get to the being main stage unless he said yes. I mean, he might have been 100% satisfied because it doesn't look exactly how he thought it would. But
Somente tinha que ser o último.
Yeah, but it was negotiation, because I'd always do fittings. We'd always try and do a drawing, and so I was working towards what he thought would be the best thing, and then you take it a little bit further.
But it's also because he only worked with people he trusted. He knew that Diana would never send him out in front of a camera looking ridiculous. She would never allow that to happen, unless he wanted it.
I mean, yeah, we did have the chorus girls in Pretender were quite... Yeah, that was going to be fun. He would play up with that, and it would be okay.
Hello guys, this is a funny question I would like to ask you. How would you image Freddie being 65 today? Do you think he would have a color in his hair, for example? How do you image Freddie being 65 today? Would he have a color in his hair, for example?
I don't think he would have needed colour.
Really?
The thing I do believe was that his double crown might have got a little peeler.
Would he be still singing with Queen?
No, I mean, he's one of the, I think he would have been lucky enough to keep the natural colour. I can't see it. I mean, to the last day I saw him, there was no grey there.
Would he be still singing together with Queen?
I think he would. They would be recording together, certainly. I would not say that they would be touring together, because you know Freddie. When Freddie performed for you, his fans, he was all over the stage. What didn't matter whether it was a 10-metre stage or a 50-metre stage. Wherever you looked, Freddie was there. As he gets older, as all of us get older, we cannot physically do what we did when we were 30. And he would feel, if he wasn't all over the stage, he would feel he was letting the fans down. He was not giving the best show of his ability. So I think he would have pulled the stop to it. But the music would still be being made, definitely.
I think the idea of a good holiday for Freddie was a carton of Marlboro cigarettes, Adidas trainers, and a couple of weeks in the recording studio.
Yeah. It lets the mind go free.
Right, anyone else have any questions? Diana, did you go to Freddie's silly hat party?
I did the hats for Freddie's silly hat party. Yeah, the garden party, and we were having the idea was a Mad Hatter's tea party kind of thing. So all the families could come, and children, and it would be a great mix.
There was about 200 people.
And everybody in the house, including Peter.
I had a pink Georgian Miss Piggy hat.
Huge brim with Miss Piggy heads in the middle. And pink, which is our favourite colour today. And so everybody in the household put a request in for a hat. And Joe wanted to be able to have a hat box with real eclairs, chocolate eclairs in them. So I did a pillar box hat, and we put chocolate eclairs in it. And Peter Straker had the Chinese curtains.
Yes, it's like a Chinese cookie hat with all, like a
bamboo curtain hanging.
Yeah, bamboo curtain hanging around it.
Just the huge, crazy hats, and everybody else who was invited outside the house who knew me was phoning up and ordering hats. So my house was filled with them.
Right.
And the day came when I had to deliver them. I think it was the Friday night before the party, and Freddie said, "Where are the hats? When are you coming over with the hats?" I don't have a car big enough. Do you think you could send your extended limousine over so we could come and think? It's like Christmas. I arrived there and at the house, the garden house. Everybody was standing outside going, "Where's my hat? Which is my hat?" So I took all the hats, and Freddie had 2 hats, and one of them was, he wanted a Joker's hat, the actual Joker's hat, which I had rigged by the same people who made this crown, actually, same prop people, and it was spring-loaded, so when you pulled the spring, the hat burst open with all these festoons and, birthday figures and things popping out. But it was a bit vicious, if I remember right, and it had to have a chin strap on, so he kept jumping a little bit, and every time he kind of pulled it, he thought, "It's no good, I can't go through the whole evening with this, it's just I'll end up with no neck." So we had an alternative hat, which got to be the kind of fun one, which with the bobbing butterflies. Kind of like, and so he went around. That was much easier for him to wear, being the host as well. So, yes.
Any more?
All right, time for one more.
Yeah, hang on, 2 more, not 2.
All right, time for 2, and then...
Diana, the video clip, The Miracle, where the kids are playing the members of the band, the costumes from the Magic Tours, were they designed by you for the children?
They were. No, I remember that video was not, I didn't do the video shoot, but I helped what we call supervise it, because I had a great assistant called Jane in England who was helping me a great deal with the Queen costumes, because I was quite busy doing lots of things. So she actually supervised, well, I supervised the making of. They were copies for the children. Yeah, they are somewhere. I think the children have got them. Yeah. No. I'm assuming that they've kept those things, because a great many times when I make costumes for all sorts of people, I don't store them myself. 1 or 2 things I have, which is personal items which I might contribute, I keep, but most of them are kept by the artists themselves. That's why you see them coming up at auctions and things. They sometimes sell them on, so I don't keep a lot of things.
Hello.
would you say working with Freddie was the best out of your career?
Is my career over?
I have to say, making the videos and working with these types of people in the 80s was a lot of fun. And the music business, as you all know, has changed so much. Downloading, it's a different advertising, it's a different sponsorship, it's all so different out there. So I think I hit lucky. And I got to work with some fantastic people. I mean, there was Tina Turner, David Bowie, Kylie Minogue, The Cure, and so many other people at that time. So yeah, I think it was the fun part of the career. That's the best way, the funnest part.
All right.
Have we come to an end?
It is.
Do we all go and have a glass of wine or something like that?
All right, do you want one more question?
Pergunta se ela faria roupa para Lady Gaga.
Okay, I would like to know, because there is a big mystery about the Munich birthday party. What can you tell about the Munich birthday party?
That's
one more question for Diana. It was hell.
It was nice.
Freddie got drunk. Some stuff in his room, and he was really sick and all the rest of it. I mean, okay, no, the party itself you can see in the video. Even though it's really strange when you think that they filmed the party for 8 hours, and yet you keep seeing the same little bits of video all the time.
Yeah.
There must have been a lot more that they could have used. I know I told them that they couldn't use me, but there must have been so much more they could have done. It was fun. It was Munich. It was Munich in the 80s. You know, what more do you want?
sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
Yes, there was. Alright, we'll do just one shouting.
Pergunta se ela faria roupa para Lady Gaga.
Is there anyone else who wants to? Yeah, hang on,
Mas será que ela faria roupa para Lady Gaga?
Sorry, my English is not the best. What was the reason why Freddie go back from Munich to London?
What was the reason?
I know two reasons. The one is Barbara was too kind to him, and the other is that Jim wants that he come back to him. What's the right?
Well, the thing is, okay, a little bit different. Jim was out there with him anyway. But of course, like in any relationship, you don't like competition, and Jim's competition was the city footballer. And so, I mean, he wasn't 100% happy with that. As regards the first reason, I suppose there was also a little bit of that involved as well. I think maybe she became a little bit too possessive. You know, that he couldn't go out without Barbara, you know. But don't get me wrong, they had an incredible relationship. He had something with her that I've not seen him have with anybody else. It was because, the thing is, both of them are stars, and she would do things that he wouldn't dream of doing. You know, if he went into a bar and someone was sitting in his favourite seat, he would find somewhere else. Barbara's there, get out! This is our seat. And then he'd go and quietly sit down in the seat. Because that was how Freddie was, and that's how Barbara was. She would do things that he wouldn't. And so he was quite happy to stand behind and let this happen in front of him. He also gets bored. Yes, I'm sorry, I still, even 20 years on, I still use the present tense sometimes. He did not have a very high boredom threshold. It almost became a tradition that he would spend couple of years in a city, then decide I'm going to buy a place here and live here, he would buy the place and then move. Which is exactly what happened in New York, and which is exactly what happened in Munich. He bought the place in Munich after being there for years. I thought, no, I've had enough. I think maybe the actually owning the place there was too much of a tie. And Freddie, to the bottom of his heart, was a Brit. He was a monarchist. He loved Britain.
That's how I get the crown.
Yes. Well, it was the only way he was going to get one.
I still remember his voice at the end of the phone. I want a crown. I want a crown.
And you can imagine the reaction of the other three.
But do you remember us practicing the crown? We practiced with the crown. It arrived in Paris, and everybody was there. Jim was visiting, and he had this beautiful hotel where the entourage was, and I was given a room, and I phoned up at a suitable hour, I thought, and said, let's have tea. Let's have high tea and do the crown. Because it was in my room, and I said, and the robe. You've got to practice this before tonight. So we ordered this fantastic high tea with little cakes and everything, and we all sandwiches, and we all sat around in his suite and they had this, great tea. Eating each other's cake and something like that. And then suddenly Freddie went, oh yeah, the crown. I know, so just my box, pulled it out, and it was just like putting on a cap or something. Put the crown on, sat down, and carried on having tea. And then thought, I ought to try the scepter. Where's the scepter? Because it's, the rod, the microphone. There wasn't one around, so he picked up a banana.
And you've seen photographs.
We've seen photographs. But then he put the cloak on and went for a wander around the hotel, trying it for size. And there was a very famous French actor, Jean-Paul Belmondo, who was staying in the hotel, completely upstaged by this mad Englishman with a crown on, a banana, and a big cloak, wandering around the hotel, using the staircases to think, hi, I can manage this tonight, it'll be fine.
Is that all he had on? Just the crown and the cloak?
Well, no. Shorts and yellow shorts and a t-shirt. But that evening, with all this madness going on, and we had outriders, because all the guests were there, Duran were there, I think, and they were all visiting. This was the big kind of Paris show. He stood in the lobby of the hotel, and there were cameras and paparazzi and people all outside for as far as you could see with these gendarmes, the police there. And he stood there for one quiet moment and did his jiggling on his feet. You know how he does? He used to stand there and go, like this, and said out loud, right, when I go out there, I'm theirs. This is what he did. You were more important. As soon as he went to perform, it was the audience, it was his fans, it was doing the music. And he just stood there for a second and went, okay, I'm going to do this now.
Is